Kyle here from All Media Reviews. Here to do the Record Store Day story haul. I don't know how long this video will be. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 40 minutes. It could be 15 minutes. I got a lot of records. It was definitely the build up to this was not easy, of course. But I'll just get into what I showed. I got everything but one record I was sort of seeking out, which is really the good news, and it was enjoyable experience. I did go to Donut Hut, and there was a line. This was at like 8:30, 8:40. I met Joyce's friend Rhonda, my friend too, but at Donut Hut, and I had a high blood sugar, which was not good, but I just took like a bite. Got 4 donuts. Donut Hut still is the best donut place in Minnesota, bar none. There's something different about the way they make their raised donuts, but it's right down the road from the newest cheapo, which maybe it's good and bad that I'm talking about it because Little Canada, most people don't know it still exists, but they're managing to stay in business, thankfully. But in Little Canada, so I got 4 items. I shot a little bit of video, but I did get the Jeff Buckley um, live at Olympia, which I don't have time to open this. I guess I could do that. That's the problem with doing this on the fly like this. Features hits from Grays, including I'm like ripping the hyper sticker, of course. And I've got this on CD. I mean, Jeff Buckley's estate. How many more of the releases that were released while he was alive are they going to put out? But it's a double. It is a double, but it's not a gatefold. Whatever that's worth. But being the Jeff Buckley completist, I did get this. They had this, and it turns out there were a lot of copies. Like all the stores I went to yesterday, this is just standard black. It looks like, yeah, thick pressing, of course, but all these photos of the man himself, the late great Jeff Buckley, live at Olympia, which I think was maybe in France. He has a bunch of there's the other one, I forget the name of it. That's definitely in France. That's a less known. But Olympia was, outside of Mystery White Boy, probably the most, well, Shanae and Mystery White Boy. So it's probably, in the grand scheme of someone who has one standard album, has three, it's probably the third most well-known among all his live recordings. But there's others. I forget the name of the other one that was in Paris that I've got on CD also. But I think it's in Paris, but... Lilac Wine. Anyway, I don't know how much money I've spent in vinyl for Jeff Buckley for what, as much as I love him, Anyway, but I'm happy to get it. So I did see this, and I was kind of on the fence about getting it. I bought this years ago. This is at this again, Little Canada cheapo. 20, almost $30. It varies in price. I want to split hairs by a couple dollars with some of the stores. My interest often has always been to get the stuff I'm looking for, including the special releases, of course, but to try to like balance it out because I want to support all these record stores. That's the whole point of Record Store Day, is that these record stores were struggling when downloading and people were just using MP3s and they weren't getting as much sales. And some of them closed, but Half Speed mastered at Star Delta Studios. But this is Gong's Flying Teapot. Radio Gnome Invisible Part 1. Flying Teapot is the actual title. It's kind of a mouthful. But just the Flying Teapot. I found this compact disc, I don't know, it was 15 years ago, but several years, like, it might have been more than 15 years, at cheapo. I just bought, I don't own any Gong. But this is the one that made me those curious. I knew Gong. That's interesting what's inside here. It's a book. Cool. Just from the connections with friends John and Tom and everything. But, of course, was it John went and played with them? Of course, Soft Machine. There's a lot of connections. They're part of the Canterbury scene. But I never bought any. But this one was the one that was made me curious. It's the first of like a trilogy of records, I guess. I know Alex from Beer and Vinyl was talking about that. But I gave it to my friend Tom because I figured he might want it more than me. I don't know if he needed it on CD. He still has it, I guess. But yeah, Flying Teapot. I got this at the Little Canada cheapo also. And then I found these two things that were just there. Well, I mean, I just picked them up. Two or three, actually three. Picked up this picture disc from Marillion's Script from Majester's Tier. I've had this weird run. This is like the second or third year that Little Canada's been involved with Record Store Day. And at least one other time I found, I think it was Holidays in Eden. It wasn't last year, but I think it was the year before. Or maybe it was Black Friday in 24. One of the it's been where I've found Marillion and certain things. I found Pat Metheny there too. These Pat Metheny singles from the Yolanda You Learn single, like a promo. So I don't know why that cheapo. I have these luck just looking in this the general A to Z rock section and jazz section of Pat Metheny's case. But this is a picture disc. Of course, I probably will never play it because it's a picture disc and they don't play. But it looks cool and it's an I don't know when this was issued. Probably recently. I mean, yes, I could go on to Racket Records and buy a lot of this stuff. But this is actually the record itself, a picture disc version. I would guess this was issued relatively recently. It's not an original, which would mean something. Yeah, this was in 2020 or 2023, Parlophone. So, but sort of like the win of supporting a store and also finding my favorite band, something from my favorite band that I don't have, in the store itself, with some of the motivation. It fits totally with the Record Store Day aesthetics. So add this to the massive and extensive collection, somewhat massive extensive collection. I'm sure there are Marillion fans that their collection dwarfs mine still, but so I saw this is a record that my friend John has talked about over the years. His band, they're called Stackridge, and this was produced by George Martin, who worked with the Beatles. Obviously, it's still sealed and it was only $5. No, it's sealed, but it says it's fine condition, which is weird. Maybe they're referring to because the little cutout there, little punch. Maybe that's what it is. But the album came out in '74. Is this the debut? I think it is. Yeah, it's the debut album from Stack. Or Pin of 4 Days. That's the name of it. It's weird. It might be their debut album. Anyway, yeah, John told me about Stackridge right in the early days. I met him like in the late '90s at a record show. I remember because I wrote the name down and. I have listened to them. I don't know. I think they're kind of in the folk vein. I mean, they're not entirely, but I think they're a band that probably could end up having a bigger following than they do. But this is like I think this might be a first pressing. So for $5, it's like what I've never bought any Stackridge, and John told me about them decades ago. So this is actually a gatefold. Interesting. Maybe it's not first pressing anyway, but Sire Records, produced in Los Angeles. I don't know if they were American though, or they were British. My guess is they were British since George Martin was. But anyway, yeah, I have to spend some time with this and with this album. Kind of a cool jacket. Yeah, I guess this is a first pressing, just based ABC Dunhill Records. It's not a very thick pressing, it's standard black, but I don't know if the record label thought, okay, well, George Martin's working another band, they're going to be as big as the Beatles. I think what happened, he wasn't working with like Queen or ELO even, but Stack. I don't know if it will ever happen, but maybe at some point they will grow in sort of like a cult, like a late, like post career. Because I don't think they're around anymore. But so then I got one more record here. Because I heard that Jake Rude play on Transmission Automatic. Joyce probably has this record. I'm trying to go through her records, but this is for $2. I got a copy of the biggest Pointer Sisters record. It's called Breakout, which has Automatic and Jump for My Love. Those are and Neutron Dance. I mean, this is the one that probably all their hits. I don't know if this had been used, so obviously the condition might be a little scratched. I didn't even bother looking. It's like $2. There was one that was in fair condition. One was good. This one was good. So, I mean, again, the whole thing with collecting and the collection getting so big and everything, it's like trying to be more particular. But, this just for Automatic alone, Automatic is a banger. So that's what I got at the Little Canada Cheapo. Moving on. Oh no, I got one more thing I forgot. So I wasn't gonna buy for $80, $90 plus the Pink Floyd live album but I did get the compact disc for $17.99. So which has the two raving and drooling and you've got to be crazy. The two pre-Animals track live. Legendary bootleg. Yeah, because it's a bootleg, restored and remastered by Steven Wilson. So the Steven Wilson angle doesn't hurt. Generally, we just open this up and show this. This is, I know Record Store Day is going to start doing more CDs. They might, because Record Store Day doesn't necessarily deem it has to be only vinyl. So, but Animals is still my favorite Pink Floyd record, and trying to pull this thing out is going to be a job, unfortunately. There you go. Yeah, it'll be compact disc day, or maybe they're going to incorporate compact disc into vinyl, into Record Store Day more and more. It wouldn't surprise me. Compact discs never died, even at the same point of vinyl, but so this was from April 26, 1975. So Wish You Were Here tour, I would guess. I don't know the exact release date on Wish You Were Here, but there's a whole write-up here. Or no, it's just the credits. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, it's just the credits, actually. Like what each song was written by. I don't know. There's more to this, but for the sake of time, I'm going to probably just refrain from going more in depth on the booklet for the video, at least. Yeah, it looks like the background. One of the background singers is right there. Yeah. They had the soulful, thinking about it was the woman that sang on Great Gig in the Sky and Dark Side of the Moon. But I mean the track list, the playlist on this this concert in April '75. Got it, just barely. It has the complete Dark Side of the Moon. They did that on both Pulse and Delicate Sounds, maybe. I can't remember, but it doesn't have Roger Waters, but so at least this has Roger Waters. The only live official thing they did with live, like obviously like hordes of bootlegs, was Live at Pompeii, and that was pre Dark Side. But Shiny Crazy Diamond, the whole suite, and then Have a Cigar. So actually, you don't even get Wish You Were Here on this, but anyway. Live from the Los Angeles Sports Arena, April 26, 1975, Pink Floyd CD. So that was what I got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I didn't know how much I was going to find. Then we went to Agartha. What I got at Agartha? I think this is what I got at Agartha. Yeah, and I have a picture showing this, and so I did get the Mute Math, which I already have, but I, complete this. And I got Porcupine Trees, We Lost the Skyline. Go through this as quickly as possible too, since video is going to be 30 to 40 minutes long. But people can pause it, fast forward if they want to. I'm not going to blame them for that, but let's give it a look here. I love Mute Math. Limited Blue Edition 2LP, the band's full-length debut album, from 2006 on vinyl for the first time in 10 years. And well, actually, that's not true, but someone didn't do... Well, yes and no. I can't remember if the ones that I bought, they weren't repressings. They were repressings. I forget. I'd have to remember the exact details. Obviously, I bought a copy that I have right over here. Where is it? What did I do with it? It's right here. I bought a copy right here. So... yeah, the track list, it's slightly different. It's obviously not a colored vinyl, but the hype sticker's saying, first time on vinyl in 10 years. I think the version I got was newly pressed. If it wasn't, then it has a date on it. Well, maybe it does say 2016. All right, I sit corrected. This is a 20... They pressed a bunch in 2016, and then he found some extras. Because I didn't get this till like 2023 or 2024. I forget when I got it. Maybe even early last year. It was within the last 2 years, but... that one isn't colored vinyl, so this is a fantastic debut album. I still kind of contend I like Odd Soul the most, but the one I need is Armistice. That's I got the Reset EP, but let's take a look quickly at the blue vinyl. Yeah, it's sort of like an aqua, or it's not. I would call it dark teal, but anyway. it's got so many tracks that are great on it. Break the Same, Chaos, Typical, um, Stare at the Sun. And then, of course, this version, I know they reissued it because I go back to the original period when Mute Meth came out in 2006. Well, 2005, I wasn't aware of them. But the Reset EP, they incorporated in the second released version. It was later in 2006. I have both versions. I have like 4 copies of it on CD. Well, I maybe only have 2, but I have 2 different versions. I have the one that came out independently early in 2006, and then the one that, man, this is the problem with vinyl and these fragile cases. Well, I'm just gonna like save this for later, but Plan B. Yeah, some of the tracks, Stall Out Control is another just banger track. I mean, they were greater live, but I assume this is the same blue, same sort of blue, or you call it like turquoise. Yeah, I mean it's closer to turquoise. No, that's not so wonderful. It looks like it might be a little bit of a print and a fingerprint of some kind when they were packaging this, but I don't know. It's sort of good to have. I mean, whether ultimately I want to have and keep both copies, I don't know. All I know is when the Mew album, was it Avengers came out for records? I think it was Record Store Day. I didn't get it because I already bought the one that came out. Maybe it was one of those Mew records I didn't get. It was like 2 or 3 years. I was like, maybe it was 20. It came out later on Record Store Day, and I kind of wished I had bought it because it had extra tracks and it was a different looking record. Kind of like there was even under Siren's debut album, Between the Heart and the Synapse. I didn't get the reissue that had the original artwork, and I still wish I could get that because part of it getting vinyl is getting the artwork. Big part of it actually. So all right, we lost the Skyline, which I gotta look here again. I'm trying to look. I swear I had this. Either I downloaded a version or I have it on CD. But this is a live like in-store appearance Porcupine Tree did in 2007. But the track list doesn't have any of the Fear of Blank Planet stuff, which I'm actually kind of happy about. Yeah, October 4th, 2007. So this is months after Fear of Blank Planet came out. But this has The Sky Moves Sideways, Even Less, Stars Die, and Waiting on side A. Normal, which is, I contend, is better than the whole Fear of Blank Planet album. Drown With Me, Lazarus, of course, and Trains, 2 of the biggest, songs off the previous 2 records. But where this was I think in like New York City. Look at it again here. This falling. These are my new glasses. I still can't see anything when up close with them on. Or no, it's in Orlando. It's Orlando, Florida. Park Avenue, Orlando. But yeah, Porcupine Tree. I am I completist? Not quite, but I'm a pretty big fan. Have a cool looking clear vinyl, which I'm not. I guess to some degree I'm not quite at that same level for Steven Wilson, though I'm still pretty loyal to him. So most of the times when Porcupine Tree stuff comes out for a Record Store Day, like Marillion, I will buy it. It's interesting. The case here's got some weird artwork, and you can really see, fully see it. I don't know why it's white like that, but so that's what I got at Agartha. I was there for a while and met some people. Met a really nice woman and a few different women actually, but one woman I was talking to for a while about Sheena Ringo and Pepe Deluxe and some other stuff and Prince. So after that, I went to go get something to eat. I posted pictures on social media. Colossal Cafe, got the with Rhonda, got the breakfast sandwich that Joyce I usually get with bacon and cheese and eggs, and the strawberry preserves, which are the best thing. And we were actually we weren't gonna be able to eat there because it was really crowded, which it was like after 11 o'clock, so that took a little longer because years past I've got some video footage like in 2017. I don't think it was quite that crowded because normally it's just a normal Saturday, which is busy. It was chilly yesterday. It was high in the mid to late. I think it maybe reached 50 degrees, but at that point I did not want to eat outside. It was windy. John didn't want to come, but Rhonda had already been. Rhonda lives closer anyways. But after waiting in line for a while and finally meeting up with Rhonda, the woman that was working there told me, after telling me that we couldn't actually sit there with just 2 people. If it had been 3, we would have been able to. she said, no, we can, if you want to wait 15 minutes, you can get a table. So we did, and we waited, and we got a table. And then I said goodbye to Rhonda after eating with her, and I was calling John on the phone. It was like really loud and everything. But I was unsure what I needed to do because I had this ASMR session that was scheduled in Apple Valley, but there was stuff I still hadn't found. Specifically, the big Hello Kitty robot made plushie or whatever you want to call it. So I did find it though. I went over to Barely Brothers, hadn't gone there, and this is 11 some. This is like afternoon. It's like 12:20 or something like that, and they had one left. So for Joyce, yeah, Hello Kitty and her shopper. I picture little Joyce, like with this, with the headphones and the record, when she was a kid. Yeah, Joyce would have appreciated this. I mean, it's handmade by robots, but this was the number one thing I wanted to find. All these other records were kind of secondary. So, miss you, Joyce, miss you, Mama. But I did good, I think. She would have been kind of stressed out about. I didn't have my. She would have probably wanted to go to Lucky Cat, and if I didn't make it to, or even Electric Fetus potentially, not being able to find this thing. But I did find it. I mean, I didn't do any. I looked for a couple items at Barely Brothers, but I knew like I was up against the clock for this ASMR thing, so I was at Barely Brothers for all of maybe 15 minutes, but I got it. I got the Hello Kitty handmade by robots collectible vinyl figure. So then I went to Cheapo in St. Paul looking for one specific record, which unfortunately I'll reveal in a few minutes. Didn't manage to get, but they had gotten a couple. I was just curious on what they had. I didn't. Again, I was sort of up against the clock to some degree, and I was already spending a lot of money at Agarda, and between Agarda and Cheapo and Little Qand, I'd probably spent well over $100. So I decided to just not do a lot of regular shopping at Barely Brothers, and then try to get out to. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was I thought because I ended up leaving. No, I went to Cheapo, but I didn't do shopping at Cheapo. It's like Barely Brothers, not much. But then I had just enough time to get down to Apple Valley for the ASMR thing, and did that, and it's really good. I still enjoy the woman I saw. I ended up getting an ASMR session from back on Valentine's Day. It's a different person, so I'm gonna be kind of going back and forth maybe between the two of them. I'm not sure, but it was very helpful. I mean, I was getting grief triggers. So I'm still thinking about Joyce, but no, I mean, this is the first record store day without her. I had the Zoom on for my fellow widows in the widows dating community that I talk to regularly around the country. They were kind of in and out. It wasn't like a massive group, and I don't know if any of them, none of the people that go into the Zoom did any RSD stuff. A lot of them aren't really vinyl collectors that much. They like music, of course. There was like one or two people in the Facebook group that I found, but anyway, they did the ASMR thing. So that was whatever. I've been to 3 stores and 2 restaurants per se, and so I'm that was in Apple Valley. So I'm down in the South Metro. So there's the South Metro Music, which is a place that the first time Joyce and I went was last year. The only time she got to go, unfortunately. And looking for that one item maybe they'd have, and to see what else they might have. And since it was not that far from, it's in Burnsville, from Apple Valley where I did the ASMR thing, I didn't find the one item, but I did find these 2 things that were neat. I mean, one of them I'd seen previously, but one is the Mars Volta picture disc, so just like the Marillion. And from the Mars Volta period that, I don't think I have this. I'm pretty sure I don't have it. I have some other, like, picture disc and special release Mars Volta records. But this is, is it Televators? Yeah, Televators, the picture. I have Televators like a 7-inch. I have to look again. But, I can try doing that quickly right now. But, hold on. If I have this, I'm not going to be thrilled. But, I'm pretty sure I have the 7-inch for this. But I don't have 12-inch. No. I showed that on my yeah, I have this. I have a different Televators. Weird. So they really milked this thing, unless the back is the same. Ooh, looks like I bought this a second time, so I'm gonna have to give this away. Well, the cover art, and I didn't pull up my videos. What I yes. Oh well, I supported the record store no matter what, which is part of my intention. But I may have to do a giveaway. I know picture discs. You know they don't play. They're only for collector's sake. But all right, well, and I have the limited edition sticker or something like that. You know, buying doubles is not a practice I like to have, but I make some exceptions. So I bought it. You know, I'm in some ways I probably wish I hadn't bought it, knowing that I already had this. But what can you do? You know, again, I'm supporting the record store, so I don't remember where I got this. I got it at cheapo, or it might have been at Agarda. I can't remember, or maybe Barely Brothers. But so I have two copies of the Televators picture disc. So I did buy this, and I did look through the record store day release list thoroughly enough to think this was anything I would want to have. I think I remember seeing the name because this was the Yes Tales from Topographic Tours release. Um, and it was $50. Um, it's Tales from Topographic Oceans live, and then the second side has an You and I and Close to the Edge. The third disc, rather the third disc. The only thing about it is like I kind of was on the fence. I mean, if you give me like a Tales from Africa Oceans from one night, especially like a show that was either in Minnesota or here, it would be kind of a no-brainer. This isn't entirely from the same show. It's 3 out of the 4 are from the same show in Manchester, England, live at Free Trade Hall, I believe. Yes, and or no, that's okay. What? My bad. 3 of the 4 tracks from Tales from Tropic After Oceans are from Zurich, Switzerland. Live at Hallen Stadion, Zurich, Switzerland, April 21st, 1974. Revealing Signs of God, The Ancient, which I guess hearing it live might be better than the studio recording, which is a chore to get through. And then Ritual, which is my favorite part of it. That was April 21st, 1974. The Remembering is taken from Manchester, England, live at Free Trade Hall, November 28th, 1973. So it was like, whatever, 4 months before, 5 months before. So I don't know if it like is kind of fluid the way it goes through. I don't know if, like, it would have been better to have half and half, probably, to have it be the same, like half of the same show. I know that Rick Wakeman was quoted as like how the whole tour was a disaster, and that's why he left like not long after. So, but the curiosity got me the most on this, and I'm like, it's Record Store Day. While Tales from Topographic Oceans, I consider is like a flawed masterpiece, and I've grown to enjoy and appreciate 3 out of the 4 pieces. Of course, this is before I was even born. I was born in '76, but I have of course Yes shows and Yes shows and of course Yes songs, but and I've got of course Keys to Ascension, which has like half live. I have the second. Those are on compact disc. I have the second one, which has Mind Drive. But I don't have many other like sort of proper live or even bootlegs. My friend John probably has got a handful of collection. The Yes super fan, but not a gatefold. Unfortunately, that would have been nice. Yeah, I mean this is. I mean, Relayer would mean more. I mean, but that's on Yes shows. The stuff like Gates of Delirium, or like a drama tour. And I'm sure that there have been recent Yes tours with that, but again, it doesn't have, Trevor Horn. So this is the thing that why this means more to me. At least it's sort of in the element. This is right after Tales from Topographic Oceans was released, so. That's one of the biggest reasons why I made an exception with this. But yeah, this is 3 discs. I guess for $50, it's live, and I know the live stuff is just sort of I make exception. But this is one that has Ritual, it's black vinyl. Interesting labels, different there on the other side. Side B or side would be D, I guess. Side D has Ritual. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying not to buy too many live albums, but you know, it's from that period of time. I assume it's been cleaned up. It's better than a bootleg, sounding better than a bootleg. But so yeah, that's kind of why I made the exception. It was on Record Store Day also, and my friend John, he's gonna want he's gonna want it. I don't know if he like looked at the list thoroughly. I mean, I just kind of bypassed because there's been several Record Store Day live releases. It's like every year. Like there might have been one on Black Friday last year, and so they've kind of milked it. Um, but a lot of them are not all of them, but a lot of them are from more recent tours, like the lineups that they've done the current Yes or more recent Yes. So that was it, I believe, for everything I got. And I could tell I did go see the Dangle Trio at Hell's Kitchen last night too. I wanted to talk to them about a couple things. I hadn't seen those guys that were also in Bryce Plays Drums, a few of them. I did get this peanut butter that they sell there, which you can sample it. I'll say this. I hope this is pretty damn good peanut butter because it wasn't cheap. But no, I guess this is the new norm for Record Store Day, or I don't know. I may have new people to meet up with. This person I saw at Agarda Records, or some other people. I don't know. People that's in this meetup group that do concert meetups. Some other people I know. I'm not sure what my future doing Record Store Day. I mean, we did it last fall with my friend Danielle, but she's not a music person. She just kind of accompanied me, and we were spending some time together at the time. Um, but it doesn't feel the same without her, of course, without Joyce. But it's not like I'm gonna not participate, and it's a holiday, and it's a big deal. I know it's just a day that people think of. People that like to collect records go to the store. And it gets hyped up like Black Friday, and 2014 is when we made that first video. So you can go. There's probably or maybe a dozen or more videos before this one about Record Store Day, about the lists, of course, and then the experience, and then some footage. I don't know. It's I'm sure she would want me doing this, even though she would know that I'd miss her. And if I'm going to do it with someone else or maybe multiple people, I did get to spend time with Rhonda, at least there, to some degree. And John would have probably come if it wasn't for the weather, but maybe at Black Friday. If Shane from Wisconsin, Joyce's good friend, Monkey's friend, from Oshkosh, maybe one of these years we can find a way for him to come in for Record Store Day. I mean, he came in last fall and we just went record shopping. But he would be another like sort of buddy partner to spend Record Store Day with. Maybe we'd make a video together then, just sort of like what Joyce and I did. But I am alphabetizing her records, as I mentioned on the last video. And then I'm going to try to make a series of videos now that this room is starting to take some shape and I can actually do stuff in here. And most of my videos probably be filmed in here. But yeah, I'm gonna try showing those records, and the other thing would be to ultimately try to put them on Discogs. But time, I mean, I haven't put my own collection. I just started. I'm only through like the Bs. But yeah, as you can see, I'm working on it right now. You can see the Bs right there, James Brown. And my guess is the Monkey collection alone might be like 60 records. Actually, and they did release, not for Record Store Day, it's coming out in May, a 10-year anniversary of Good Times, which I want to get. I did get, of course, the Pisces anniversary. That was the 60-year? I think it was the 60-year last year for Pisces. It would have been this year, I guess. I'm not sure. Pisces is probably, if I picked one Monkeys record. I liked Head initially, but Pisces, I'll admit, the songs are just more creative and there's more songs. Head is a soundtrack, but anyway, that's about it for Record Store Day. I'm off to start off in my bowling league, the 6 weeks of bowling on Sundays. I didn't even mention though, the one record I did not find that I really wanted was the Bill Bruford Feels Good to Me, and I don't know. I didn't get out to Solstice Records yesterday because I was just I wanted to watch the Timberwolves game, and because it's on Prime, they didn't have it at like Devani's and a few other places I wanted to go watch it at. So they didn't win anyways. I didn't catch the very end of it. I may do a video about the Timberwolves and the playoffs. Depending on what happens in this series with Denver, with the Nuggets. But the Wild won. But again, that's only one game. Game one does not define a series necessarily. So, but anyway, I got some more videos to do, maybe other concert reviews and stuff like that. But and probably the next long series of videos, if I actually manage to find the time to make them, will be finally showing these records. That could be the ETA on that could be, I would say around her birthday maybe, or a little bit after. Joyce's birthday is May 4th. It could be earlier than that even, potentially, depending on how much time I am able to manage. I want to alphabetize them entirely, though, before I start doing it. So, and then I may actually include some of her other monkeys and collectible items that are in this room with all this stuff. All this, as she'd say, my junk, my shit. So, anyway, thank you for watching, though, and we'll see you next time. And what did you get for Record Store Day? I'd love to hear about it.